Hey guys, alrighty. Today is Tuesday. We do have some PMI data about 9:45 this morning, so we'll keep our eye out for that. Overnight, kind of a small move. We got about 28 points on ES and about 150 on NQ. So a decent range, about 50% of the 10-day average, but not too big, which is nice. One thing I'm watching, and I was watching yesterday after hours, is I mentioned that possible double top rejection here on the daily. So if you look at ES right now, it is playing that rejection out. We came up to 69.60 and had a nice little rejection. Did not break yesterday's high, so that's interesting. And then, we on NQ came up just shy of 25,700. Same thing, did not break the high of yesterday though. So one thing I am looking at from a bearish standpoint is the failure to break the high, potentially setting up the rejection lower. But from a bullish standpoint, if you look, we did touch 8 EMA support at 69.30 on ES and have a nice bounce. So that could be the bullish bounce to break out to 69.80. And on NQ, we did come back down to 20 EMA support at 25.546 and then did bounce. So again, that could be our breakout up into the 25.800 to 25.900 area. Overnight, our range that we established here is really nice, gives us a really clean kind of area. On ES, we have 69.40 to 69.48 with a lower support at 69.36 and then upper resistance at 69.58 to 69.61. And then over on NQ, same thing here. We have a really nice base. That base is going to be 25,579 to 25,614, and then our resistance, the first resistance we have is 25,642, but then we really have another upper area at 25,673 to 25,684. Breakout is 25,733, and then we kind of have some more major support down in the 25,538 to 25,554 area. So kind of same thing here as most days, looking for this overnight range to make a move. The last pretty much couple days that I can remember at open has pretty much brought out an immediate pump to the upside. So again, we got to watch out for that, but most of these pushes to the upside are getting pretty much instantly rejected. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. We still do not have daily buyers. And then if you look at VIX, it is technically once again green today. And that daily trend over there, it has not really broken through its EMA support yet. So it's still barely holding on to an uptrend. So I'll be curious, honestly, to see where today takes us. You know, again, this could be our breakout. We could see the huge bull flag breakout and finally see some sort of sustainable all-time highs move, but at the same time, there is some evidence that we're going to once again complete another lower high, specifically on NQ, and potentially make another leg down. So I don't think the market really knows what it wants to do. We continue to have such big divergence between the VIX and the market, and just really in general, sometimes ES and NQ. I mean, if you look again, ES is about 50 points from its all-time highs. But if you look at NQ, it's still pretty significantly off its all-time highs. So again, NQ is not fully committed back to the upside. So I'll be curious to see kind of, like I said, where today goes and where the rest of the week goes. But as of right now, we are about to touch that 69.48 and 25,642 resistance. So we're touching, it looks like we are going to make a push. There you go. Once again, that opening candle, instant push every single time lately. That's pretty impressive how that continues to play out that way. So we're breaking through here. It looks like we're going to make that move back up towards the 69.58 to 69.61. And then we already got to 25.673 to 25.684 here on NQ. So really, again, like I said, 25.733 is that next big upside level. Now, even though opening candle is pumping, as you see right this second, and we saw yesterday especially on NQ, a lot of the times it's actually leading to a pretty good rejection. So yes, we're getting the pumps, but we're not necessarily getting the follow through to the upside. We do have buyers here. We got that new support at 25.615 and 69.42. Again, I think a 5-minute closure over 69.48 and 25.642 could be a long signal. This could finally, if our EMA backtest off 69.30 and 25.550 is support, that could finally lead to the big breakout here. I would like to see, if we're bullish, a move up into the 25,800 area on NQ and really over 69.80 on ES. VIX is selling off pretty nicely right now. It just went red. Nice opening gap down there. Again, we do have some buyers. They're trying to look pretty strong, actually. So I'll have to see where this candle settles out here. Assumingly it doesn't wick majorly down, we'll look for a little pullback and try to take a long here. Yeah, I think in general, market is pretty generally bullish right now. You know, with after getting through Venezuela stuff, we got through the holidays, we got through CPI, we got through FOMC. There's really not a whole lot. I guess earnings are going to be coming up here pretty soon. But outside of that, there isn't really a whole lot to kind of reverse this market. We kind of need some sort of new news, new data. But with that being said, you know, it's interesting that like yesterday and the days last week, market is failing to hold its highs. It's selling off pretty regularly intraday. So yes, I think there is some bullish sentiment out there and movement, but there's also a good amount of bearishness too. So it's like I said, there's a lot of indecisiveness right now. Okay, so here comes our close. We got 30 seconds. Once again, ES looks way stronger than NQ. So again, that's going to make this long, if we want to take it, potentially problematic. But we are looking to get my 69.48 and 25.642 closure. I'm liking the buyers I'm seeing on NQ despite its weakness. VIX and VX are selling off pretty aggressively here. So maybe we can get a pullback down to the 25.6, maybe 30 area and look for a long there. It is hard to ignore the double top that it's forming now though. But again, I don't see sellers. Holo, the charts you are seeing in the background is Thinkorswim. That's kind of where I do all my charting. I have some indicators on there that I kind of have to use Thinkorswim for, and this is what I've used for a long, long time. And then for actual trading, I trade through Ninja or Trader, but I specifically use Ninja Desktop. That's where you're seeing that chart or the actual positions come up there in the top middle. It's a little volatile here, but I kind of like the long. We did come down to 625 to 630 area, and now we're getting a pop. We do have some good buyers. It looks like we're going to push through the failure. ES got a pop. All right, let's take it.
Order submitted.
Not my best entry there, but we got in. Kind of filled right at the top, unfortunately, so that's probably going to be problematic. That was my own fault, though. I was just slow on the entry. I am just looking for about 25 points here. That would put us through that 684 area. We do have aggressive buyers. VX and VIX are falling, so it does look pretty good for the breakout. And that 25 points would be kind of where I need to hit my day 2 of 3 for my Tradify evals. And that would give me where I want to be for my funded futures and for my Lucid accounts. Seeing a little weakness here. Yeah, again, if I would have had a better entry, I probably would have got my 25 points there, so I think they're probably going to come down and get me. Ooh, maybe not. They might hold us here. It's a big fight right here.
Stop filled. Stop filled.
Okay, I did get stopped out there. They came down. So now we got to look into the potential of a rejection here. That one stinks because, like I said, it wasn't that I got a bad fill. It's just that with the volatility, it filled me a little bit higher than I wanted to, about 5 points off of where I wanted to. So one, I would have had probably my target, and two, it would have at least set my trail off. So that's a tough one. It is what it is, though. Sometimes it plays out that way. So now we're going to start considering a short opportunity here. If this closes under 642, I would generally think a short is the play. We got back-to-back long wicks off 673. Buyers broke a little bit here. So 632 is our 5-minute ORB support. I wouldn't mind seeing a run back to maybe 660 and then rejecting to the downside here, but I don't love a long right now.
Order submitted.
Okay, I took the short. I'm going to set a protective break even. Okay, I'll let my trail do its thing here. Hopefully we just get a big flush. But if not, I'm okay with that too.
Stop. Order filled.
Okay, so I got taken out there. Nice little win. So I got 24 points on that. So all but one of my funded futures accounts are at the daily 100 goal. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off. I don't really want to mess with those. I just want my $100 per day there. Okay, so now 5-minute close to like 15-minute close here. We're looking at 25,614. This is looking like a nice flush is about to come here. As I say that, they say pop. So again, 9:45 data coming though. NQ's in a super tight range. I mean, we've been closing on the 15-minute chart between 6:15 and 6:42, so that's like 30 points for the since about 7:30 a.m. for 2 hours now. So that's a tight range. VIX is still dumping though, so again, tough to trust the downside when that's happening, but there's no buyers anymore. Once again, just kind of a lot of divergence. Okay, so this is, like I said, hard to trust the downside. There's the pop. So now I have eyes on 25,676 and 69.54. That is our 5-minute ORB. Okay, so now again, still 25,673 to 25,684 is our resistance to watch. Okay, data just came in. Bullish bias to the upside now. We got all of a sudden a pop of buyers there. That was weird. 676 though. Okay, so ORB is opening range breakout. So what that does essentially, I'm looking for a long right now. I'm not sure if I want to take it just yet. I really kind of want to pull back first. I guess I'm not getting my pullback. So ORB is basically the opening range breakout. So what it does is it takes for the 5 minute, the first 5 minute candle, it plots the opening, or sorry, the high of that 5 minute candle, which today is 25,676, and the low of that 5 minute candle, which today is 25,631.5. That makes the ORB, generally speaking, until that range is closed over. So right now we're pushing through it, not closed over it. We don't really have a direction. A lot of the times you can play rejections off of it like we did this morning at off the 935 candle, or you can play bounces off it, which just happened on this candle. It's a really powerful tool that I use every single day. VIX is dumping. We have buyers. This is looking pretty bullish. I would love to see the 5 minute closure over ORB though. I'm worried they're going to surprise us with a wick lower, but it doesn't. It looks like they're going to keep pushing. So Holo, automatically, I have a strategy that plots it automatically for me, but it's based off of the 9:30 open, Eastern time open. So regular hour open. All right, let's jump in this long here. Ooh, there we go. See if we can get my target. I just needed 20 points. So that's what I'm trying. That's why I got my 722.5 set there. See if we can get it. Go, go, go. Almost there. She's gonna get it. She's gonna get it. We'll do a break even just in case. Come on. No, we won't. I said a 10-point stop out there just in case.
Stop failed.
Well, we missed it by like 3 points, unfortunately. Deep futures. So right now I am focusing on my funded futures using the scale account core account, the core account, and then I'm using the Lucid Flex. I'm a huge fan of the Lucid Flex. I think that's one of the best plans out there right now. And then I'm also using Tradeify right now. Ooh, yeah. See, they got us in the stop loss there. I was afraid of that. The Tradeify new Flex. So they took it down just enough to get us, unfortunately. Okay, so new 5-minute candle though. This should give us some upside here. I do like it. I want to get in on this one. We have aggressive sellers. VIX dropping. We just closed over ORB. The only question is, do we pull back or not? I don't think we're going to, so I'm going to take the risk and go ahead and get in now. Okay, so I went ahead, set a break even, trying to let this run. There's that 722 I needed, of course. Here she goes. Come on, tag her. Tag her out. Almost there. Oh, you touched it, but you didn't fill. That's brutal. That's rude. There it is. All right. So, I hit day 2 of 2 on Tradeify. I got my daily goal of day 1 of 5 on my Lucid for my $500, and I also took not on purpose, but $700 on my funded futures. So overall, great start to this week. I'm out though, fam. Let me answer some questions real quick. So I did, everybody that if you put a question in the chat, I did answer it. I just answered it via voice. So let me go back real quick here, and I will answer those in person or on chat right now. It's just easier when I'm talking to be able to just answer live. So I do want to address them just before I close out here, but I'm done trading right now. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow.